Hey Aries, welcome or welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm Jamie, and this reading could resonate if you're an Aries Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus placement. If you're new to tarot, it's important to understand that not every Aries reading is going to resonate with you. So if you feel like I'm wrong or this just isn't your reading, you're absolutely right. Please never make a reading fit. I also am going to pull cards like King, Queen, Emperor, and Empress. Those cards describe a really specific personality, but have nothing to do with the sex or gender of the person that we are describing. So if I pull a Queen of Wands, I could be talking about a guy. There's just no gender. If you want to catch more readings, you could subscribe to the channel. If you click the notification bell, it'll notify you whenever I post. I do also offer a membership. If you're interested in that, you can click join. It'll take you to the membership tab and show you everything I do over there. So we're just kind of having a little look at this week's juicy drama. So this won't be too long of a reading. Make sure to tune in next week to catch your monthly overview for June. I'll go over some of the major astrology and, of course, any of the events happening throughout the month, what to be aware of. So we have Enabler attempts to pacify another by sacrificing their own wants and needs to keep the peace. The energy is gaining momentum, waxing moon. Reflecting. The overall energy here is the Queen of Wands in the reverse. Supporting this we have the Tower in the reverse, Aries Scorpio energy. The Page of Swords in the reverse, and the Emperor in the reverse, Aries energy. And at the bottom of the deck, presenting a challenge, the Nine of Swords in the reverse, and following that is the Devil, Capricorn energy. Okay, so let's dissect this a minute. This is a week of facing your shadow. Let me explain, right? So, of course we have the reflecting card. So we are looking back in the past. And I think this is to a specific relationship, and we'll get deeper into it as I go here, right? So we're looking at the Queen of Wands, but she's in the reverse. So this talks about having low self-esteem and getting to a point of burnout, where we're so emotionally and physically exhausted with a situation that we actually lose sight of who we are, especially with this Enabler card. I feel like with the Tower in the reverse, there was a situation that you were resisting to let go of. You didn't want to change. It's not that you didn't want to change or that you didn't want this person to change. It's that you didn't want the situation to change. You didn't want to release it or let it go. You, I think, may have been in absolute denial about whether something was actually going to be able to work out or not. So there's definitely a resistance to change here with the Tower in the reverse. Now with the Page of Swords in the reverse, we're talking about holding back and not speaking our own truth. So this is where this enabling card comes in, attempting to pacify a person in your life by making sure that their needs are met, but not really worrying about your own or concerning yourself. And this is what I mean by losing yourself. Losing yourself, becoming one with another. Now, the Emperor in the reverse, of course, is an energy of someone who does not have a good relationship with power and control. This is a person who's possessive and aggressive and maybe even dominating. I feel like this person had complete control over you, perhaps not over themselves. Now, for some of you, this goes all the way back to childhood where there was a relationship like that. And that's who you keep attracting into your life. Not specifically that person, obviously, but people like them. So here with the Nine of Swords in the reverse, this speaks of facing your fears. And the Devil is next to it. The codependency within our interpersonal relationships, especially the romantic ones, and where that all comes from, this deep dive into the self, and realizing that, sure, we can say this person is the Emperor in the reverse, right? And that's who they are, but it still speaks on who we are. If we're dealing with the Emperor in the reverse, we may be the Queen of Wands in the reverse. We may be someone who has low self-esteem, is very insecure, can easily be manipulated. Why is the energy is gaining momentum here? The Seven of Wands in the reverse, the Ace of Pentacles, the Eight of Swords, and at the bottom of the deck, the Four of Cups in the reverse. It looks like there's a new opportunity coming in here. Someone could be offering to take you out. Or, it's not from this person. This is new with the Ace of Pentacles. But because of the way that you think of yourself and of now relationships, there could be some blockages. See, I think in the past the problem really was that you weren't setting appropriate boundaries, and it seems like you're still overwhelmed by the idea of relationships, and it's based off of this one specific relationship with this one specific person that you seem to have obsessed over for a long period of time now. The Four of Cups in the reverse is challenging you. It's saying, can you pull yourself out of this rut and allow for a new chapter to unfold? I think with this Ace of Pentacles, this is something unexpected, someone kind of coming in out of nowhere. And if you think about the situation incorrectly, or you keep thinking about yourself incorrectly, you may overlook this beautiful opportunity here. So what you need to be aware of this week is the opportunity to change directions and start a new chapter in your life. Finding the Emperor in the reverse is actually pretty rare. You're not going to find 1,000,001 of them, but I think that you learned a lot about yourself and a lot about this person in the situation. You don't have to be so worried to get into the next situation. You know, there's this fear of being, you know, disappointed or rejected again in some type of way that's limiting you. And it's just the way that you're thinking. So this Queen of Wands in the reverse is still very relevant present day. Even if you've gotten over this relationship, you haven't released some of the insecurity to move on to the next. See, at the bottom of the deck, I have the Page of Pentacles. And so there is someone making a solid offer to you. And this could change your life. It could be a Scorpio, an Aquarius, a Taurus, or a Leo person. It's totally up to you. You guys know where you're at in your healing journey and if you're ready or not. But if you feel ready, I feel like what's being presented to you now is actually aligned with who you are and all of this shadow work that you've done. You've changed, and therefore you will attract a different type of person now. I'll see you guys soon.